How's it going, critter people? I hope you all are doing well. We are back at it again with another Beckman video. I saw this and I knew I was just going to be raging, so I wanted to choose a day when I was a little bit more calm. So I'm going to try being a little more calm. Hopefully I don't get super animated. Of course, I'm very partial to the Shiba Inu, having owned one and raised one over the last almost 12 years. And so this is Beckman. No friends in 4 years. Can Prince save this reactive dog? I don't know. I think, knowing Shibas, the Shiba that I have and Shibas that I've worked with, they're spunky little dogs. They're really hard to insult in my mind. So, I got my adorable little old man falling asleep. He's nodding off over the other end of the room. His little head's falling because he's trying not to fall asleep. But, he taught me, my Shiba taught me how to be a good dog trainer, like a true good dog trainer. And he taught me through hard lessons. So that's like, Shibas are hardy dogs. So we're going to be using this under Fair Use Act for education, criticism, giving my personal point of view from a person who owns a Shiba and knows a Shiba, because they're very honest and they teach you hard lessons. And so we'll just see how Beckman handles this little Shiba that hasn't had friends in 4 years. Like, Adonis hasn't had friends in 11 and a half years. He's never had doggy friends. He just doesn't. A lot of times Shibas are not dog, fans of other dogs. Can he tolerate them? Sure. I mean, it's enough that he tolerates Hermes, but he's not friends with Hermes, my ferret. He'll tolerate him. Like, he'll kind of play with him a little bit, but yeah, I mean, Shibas are usually better with other Shibas, like-minded dogs, or they prefer people. They really like people.
5-year-old Shiba Inu hasn't met a dog in 4 years.
Wow, she looks old for a 5-year-old. God, she's a very white face. That almost looks like airbrushed. I mean, I know it's not, or like photoshopped, but so we got a front clip harness. I like that she has a nice wide collar. I am not a fan of this type of harness because, as you can see, her shoulders are restricted right here. It can still push into the collarbone. I would rather just a regular Y harness or X harness or something that moves around the shoulder blade and gives the dog freedom that way. But let's see.
Years because she's reactive.
Oh my
goodness. She goes at dogs. She gets to them. She stares them in the face, and she goes at them.
Oh my goodness! Look at her little face.
I am the last house on the block. The trainers, what they've done with her and the owner is said, okay, go meet a dog. She stares the dog down. Before she reacts, they call her away and they treat her. I am not against that method. I use that method. I like that method. You catch them before they do it, and you reinforce them for not doing it.
However, I would rather, instead of reinforcing the fact that she can run up to the dog and stare at them, I would rather teach her at a distance, slowly work her up to where she doesn't feel the need or she doesn't practice that behavior to begin with. That would be a time where if Adonis did that once or twice, he's not one to necessarily start something, but if you get in his face, he will snap at you and tell you, hey, back off, especially when he's on leash, because he's also been attacked several times on leash. Thankfully, he's never been hurt. But if he were to exhibit that kind of behavior, I would immediately be like, hey, all right, come here. We're going to practice you being, more respectful around this dog. With you on leash or on the other side of the fence or something like that, but I'm going to keep you on leash until you get a little bit of that, piss and vinegar out of you. But this is not how we greet dogs. Okay, so I would teach that, but not necessarily in the way that Beckman does. I would just say, okay, we got to work at a distance. Let him ignore dogs, or if he's going to go up and sniff him, he can do the butt sniff. But again, it depends on the dog. Just because people think a dog needs a friend doesn't mean they need a friend. I mean, like, you could be their friend, you can give them plenty of exercise and fun and socialization out in the world without them necessarily having to have a dog friend.
That method doesn't always work. It's actually rarely works. And
well, how does he know? If he says he does it, though, how does he know that it rarely works? I mean, have you seen every case of it working? I mean, that's just him being biased. This doggy has little longy nails. Not the end of the world.
With this dog. Why would we keep doing a method that's okay? It's a fine method. Why would we keep doing that method if it hasn't worked in 4 years in multiple trainers.
Okay, I mean, I agree, yeah. I mean, or maybe all those trainers suck, or maybe it's not the trainers, maybe it's the owner. I'm not going to, say who sucks necessarily, but I mean, maybe it's the owner that hasn't really gone past that. I mean, I've had people who I teach them a certain behavior, and then they never fade away from the treat. I show them how to fade away the treat, but they never do. And then months and months and months later, they say, well, we're still reliant on the food. And it's like, well, you didn't do as I instructed you. So we start over again. So again, it's not necessarily the trainers. It could just be an error in communication. But I agree. If that isn't working, then don't continue. Try something else.
We're over the method. It's ready to move on.
I mean, that's what he always says. He's just making that excuse so he can correct the dog.
Do some big stuff with this little reactive dog.
She's so cute.
In the pudding. She makes a friend today. She makes a friend when she hasn't made a friend in 4 years. This dog.
Again, who cares?
I believe dogs.
There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of Shibas don't like other dogs.
Can have friends. Should have friends. It does all this.
Should. Yeah, that's your opinion. Oh no, her little leggy got caught. So that's another issue. That could very well be why she reacted here. Not only is there a fence, but her leg got caught and she felt trapped.
Stuff right there goes at him. She's not looking good, right? She doesn't look horrible, but if I were to let Prince out right now, or it was a different dog, let him out, there'd probably be a fight.
Well, yeah, because he's also he's mirroring her. He's ready to go out and be, I say Prince is a bully in a way because he's reinforced him being pushy with other dogs. And Shibas don't take kindly to that.
I get why trainers are scared. I get why owners are scared. I understand. But we're doing our own thing. We're doing our own system. And that is get dogs with other dogs. Get reactive dogs.
Which is just stupid and dangerous.
So that those reactive dogs desensitize. Sometimes they need a correction from the dog. Sometimes from me.
Yeah, sometimes. No. I mean, I would say if you're going to correct a dog, the other dog should be the one doing the correcting. It should only be a balanced dog that knows how to correct. I mean, I did use Adonis as a dog to help me with other dogs where they were pushy, like say Prince, and or even the Shiba, where they would run up to another dog and stare it in the face, and they tried that on Adonis, and he immediately just snapped at him and said, "Back off," and they said, "Whoa, sorry," and they didn't do it again. But then I wouldn't let him go any further than that. I didn't let him go in their face and bite or snap. If they came into his face, fine. But if they gave him his distance, he had no problem with it. So it really just depends. I certainly don't think humans need to be correcting, pretty much in general, but certainly not with like something like this. I mean, you're setting the dog up for failure. I would work to where this dog can be calm on leash, around any other dog that's loose and in control. They can walk around, and then I can let them go and sniff when there isn't a barrier. And if we just want to jump straight to it, then both dogs would be conditioned to a basket muzzle for safety.
And that's what we do. Look at this little happy run right there. That's my first sign that this dog can be with Prince without a muzzle, possibly without a leash, and it's going to go really well. That little happy jaunt, that little happy run. So now I'm building
this dog looks really much older than 5, but maybe she's just an early grayer. She could be.
Relationship with this dog. This dog's like, I don't really care about you, dude.
Exactly.
Which is fine.
You can't cheat with a Shiba. I promise you that. I'm so glad he's working with a Shiba because all that other nonsense, this dog would just go off on him. So good job, little Shiba. I love you.
Care about me. Needs to care about.
Now this is where I wouldn't have it because this dog already felt trapped before, I'm assuming, with the little leggy caught in the thing. She's going to feel trapped now. With him running up to her is not okay. Not good. And so this is more like a play dance.
So, meeting of Prince right here. We're going to go into a slow motion.
Very good that they are both. She looks a little bit nervous. Mouth is closed. They do have that kind of curve. It looks like he barely has his hackles up, but maybe not. But they have it kind of curved, more of an appropriate sniff. He's not sniffing the face, but he is in her space a little bit, and she's trapped. I would certainly make sure that if I'm working with any dog, especially my demo dog, that they don't get in a dog's space more than a couple of seconds. Go up and ask from a distance, can I come into your space, do a quick sniff, be able to read that body language very easily and move away.
In a second, because I want to show you some things. So,
So
she jumps. I want you to look at the lip lick from Prince right there. Lip lick from Prince. Now, this is when she goes at dogs. See
okay, so he lip licks, but he's still holding eye contact, and he's still standing there. I mean, he could walk away.
And watch what Prince does. He backs up.
Good boy.
This isn't an ego thing for Prince. This isn't an ego
He
thing.
knows she meant business. And look, for a dog on leash, I can't blame her for doing this. Off leash, I mean, it's a little easier because it can turn into a play dance and whatnot. But on leash, this could easily have turned into a fight. So good on Prince for being a smart dog, not a stupid human, and knowing, hey, I'm going to back off.
This is get this dog as good as we possibly can. And at that moment, Prince knew, backing up when she's staring. I mean, this first dog she's met in 4 years.
Okay, so he still kind of followed her, still kind of putting pressure on her. She says, hey, don't get behind me. But then he does a little play dance. See, dogs know how to be dogs better than humans do. So he knows, I mean, I still think he can be kind of pushy, but, because she's not running away, they have kind of a very similar behavior. So he's probably good for her and saying, hey, you get in other dog's face, so I'm going to get in your face.
Right? Maybe Prince knows.
But that correction there with the leash could have led her to be more reactive.
That we don't know what Prince knows. He knew he had to back up. He doesn't want to fight her. Look at him cruising by.
They're so stinking cute.
No, that could be something.
Oh
I have to
goodness.
trust Prince in every little move that he does.
And it's much easier and safer for them when they're off leash because they can get away, and play the way they want without correcting themselves. They can get away from the other dog without getting tangled up or caught up in a rope or, getting a correction and then, feeling like the other dog caused it or whatever. They don't feel trapped. So this is the best way for dogs to be able to meet.
Every ear motion, every eye contact, every letting them smell him, every smell he does, I have to trust him.
And I think he is the best kind of dog for a Shiba. I mean, very similar mindset. Huskies and Shibas, or Dobermans and Shibas, or even Brodies and Shibas. Bigger dogs with lots of energy. Who very similar mindset type of dogs.
And my old dog Bosco know what they're doing. Now apply.
Oh
So I'm gonna do another slow motion.
He's thinking cute.
First play bell from her right there. That told him and me. There, second play bell right there.
Kitty little one.
And then you see him get more physical. He hits her in the face. He knew he could.
But he was very, very soft about it.
Because she started to be more playful. And he's like, let's push it. Let's push
You're
it.
a little bit.
That's what my dogs do.
So this one worked out. Okay. I mean, that's great. Like, it didn't necessarily work out because of the person. I mean, it worked out because the dog knew what to do, and they're a good match for each other. I mean, it worked out great, but for another dog, it may not work out. There's been plenty of cases where, I've seen that there could be plenty of other cases that may not work out. So luck is not necessarily a training plan. They happen to get lucky. I think, if she had tried to attack Prince, then she would have learned something else. I mean, just because the other way, didn't work doesn't mean that it's never going to work.
They know to kind of test other dogs. Now she's with a dog. She hasn't been with a dog in 4 years.
Okay, I mean, but are you just going to try this with every other dog that you meet, go to the random dog park? I mean, yes, you did it with a dog that seems, he knows how to communicate with other dogs. There's times when he's a little bit pushy, but he knows how to, read cutoff signals. He knows, in this case, he knows how to be respectful and but that doesn't mean that this luck or this situation is going to happen next time she sees another dog. It can be a bad decision. So, again, I still think the slow way is the fast way. Don't just go put him in and hope for the best.
Is such a smeller. He's like a total creeper. He's the craziest smeller.
I mean, he's also an intact male, so maybe that's what he's smelling for.
Maybe, I think he just wants to smell, obviously, but sometimes he knows maybe that's. She doesn't seem to mind it. So
she kind of does. I mean, she doesn't like him being behind her, so she really does. I mean, I don't know if it's all Shibas, but my Shiba really hates other dogs doing the butt sniff. He's never been a butt sniffer. He tends to, sniff on the shoulder or like, go up the face, like whenever we do meet other dogs. But he particularly hates it when dogs try to go behind him, which I think is a smart move.
Right there. All right.
Get him, little one.
Meeting over there, play from her,
little
play
nip,
from him, getting better.
Little bump of the nose.
This dog is going to go at one dog. I'm going to talk you through that. Then we're going to do some passing, and that's going to be the video.
Get him, little one.
Happiness right there. A lot of happiness.
Yeah, this is a good.
She's just getting comfortable. 4 dogs,
playmate.
4 years of not meeting a dog, being isolated in that way. This is time well spent. Just being with the dog, learning about dog. Then she meets the second dog. The goal is, and usually it's like 50% better with the second dog. Third dog, 50%.
And that's just in it. Oh my god, he disappeared into the bush. And that's. I mean, I would have ended it with this dog on this one day, and I would have worked with this dog or a dog like this for multiple short sessions, before trying other dogs or really checking to see what the other dog is like. Because even then, this is a controlled environment. I'm sure if she goes to a dog park, to another place that's not so controlled, she's going to meet another dog that's going to push her and they're going to get into a fight. So I don't know. Like for me, unless you're going to, I'm going to be living with someone or somebody's going to be living, with another animal and they need to get along. Like you don't necessarily have to make friends. Your animal is not really living in isolation, as he says it, just because she doesn't have other friends. It's not like she's not, she doesn't ever see the outside world. That's one thing. But just because she doesn't actually play with other dogs doesn't necessarily mean that she's isolated in this dramatic way that he talks about it. But I'm glad that she got to have fun and play.
75% better, and then each dog, they just get better and better and
but
better.
It really depends on each dog. You have to be very careful with each dog you meet.
Like she goes at Connery, she met a lot of dogs through fences. I didn't show you that today for the sake
which is more at risk of reinforcing that behavior, that reactive behavior. I would rather her be on leash in a big open area with another dog and no fence, both can be on leash, and we're walking around, we're able to pass each other on leash, the first few times, and then have that one off leash, and then have her go off leash and this and that, then meet through a fence.
I just need to cut stuff out. She met dogs through fences. That's still meeting. It's not as good as this, though.
Agreed.
This is really having a friend. What does having a friend to a dog do for them in life? It fires off all these things in their brain. How about
sure.
This aspect of having a friend. Look at her sprint after Prince. How is she in life going to get this kind of exercise? It's a real question for you guys.
She can certainly go if she likes a ball. Her owner can toss a ball for her. You can go into a field. You can, go for a long hike. You can go for a bike ride and make sure that you're going at a pace that she can keep up with and she's not getting too tired. There's a lot of other things that you don't necessarily need another dog for. Can she, did she have a good time? Yes, absolutely. Does she need it to have a fulfilling life? I don't think so. Again, if you want to, terrific. It depends on what the dog wants. Yes, she had fun here. Adonis, I tried bringing in another dog into our little family, and he didn't want that. He just wanted me. He literally just wants me. And he's okay with Hermes, and he was okay with my family cats. When he was little, he was raised by them, so fine.
Because I asked this to
no!
right on her face.
So that can be, I would take the harness off now, because that could have led to that. She could have just slipped, but...
To you guys, when people come out to me and they never really know. One. Her chasing Prince is way better than you running with her. Me or the owner cannot run as fast as she just ran. How about if you're in a field with a ball throwing a ball? It's not the same. It's not the same mentally. It's in no way the same. So
again, this is his opinion. Okay, yes, it's a great thing, but you don't have to have this to have a great life with your dog. Okay, it really depends on every situation. You can toss a ball. She can certainly run. She can, she's having fun. Great. You can have certain play dates, but it's not a necessity. Your dog is not going to be, failing in life because you don't have friends with other dogs. There's no all or nothing in life. There's no absolutes. This dog, I'm sure, will be just as happy the next day, without living with another doggy friend, or over the next few years, not necessarily playing with dogs as they would be, today. Like they live in the moment. They have, happy times and moments all the time. I'm glad she had, this time to have fun and run and whatnot, but I don't think she's going to be necessarily depressed because she doesn't have a doggy friend. That's his opinion. And my opinion of his opinion.
Chasing him was the best exercise she could possibly get. Mentally and physically, there's nothing better. I don't believe a sport is better. I don't believe agility is better. I don't believe fly ball is better.
Well, I mean, you should look at half the dogs that do that. I mean, when you really see the dogs that get into a sport that they love, I mean, they are just, I'm sure there's all sorts of neurons and whatnot, firing off in their brain that shows, dopamine and all that excitement. Like, I've seen some pretty excited dogs to herd some sheep, or to, go after fly ball, or, I mean, have you seen those dogs, going through agility or just running, so just because, he acts like he's the only one who can really give this dog a life, and that's just the way it sounds. Like, he's promoting the fact that dogs should always be with other dogs and always be able to be with other dogs. Like, again, I don't agree with that. If the dog wants to make friends, terrific. I'm all for that. I'm not saying you shouldn't, try to make friends with, give your dog some doggy friends. But if, they're not going to be friends with everyone, and they don't have to like others, if they don't, then that's okay. Don't try to force it.
I believe running in a field with a friend is the single most exercise you can get.
Well, that's, again, his opinion.
So, she's going to go at Connery. She's going to go at Connery in a minute, because unlike Prince, Connery doesn't back up when she looks at him. Okay? So,
well, probably because you have him on leash and he can't back up. He's in a different environment now. He's more trapped here. He's a bigger dog, so he needs more room to move than Prince did. He was over here in this environment where he was, like, free, off leash, for one, and it was a more open area.
Meeting another dog, why did I choose Connery? Because Connery is the best second dog for her to meet. He's a big male, like Prince.
Again, trapped, there's another dog behind her.
I want her to make friends. But she goes at him, and it's right here. Looks at him. This is her.
Oh, shoot.
I stopped the fight with kneeing her. Then
No. It's way too late to correct her, dude. That happened because you had them in too tight of a section, too many people, too much going on. That dog couldn't move away. And for whatever reason, she corrected her. Maybe he held eye contact with her, whatever. But no, you caused this. You don't need to go correcting her because you set her up to fail.
The leash, and I tell her, sit down. I give her a little correction, then I tell her, sit down. So there's some discipline. And then I say,
too late.
We're not leaving. So the owner...
You're still in a trapped area. You're setting everyone up, this guy especially, for failure.
And I get
Don't force this. I hate this. Now she's trying to avoid him because of what happened. She doesn't have to make friends with everybody, dude. Just because it's your opinion doesn't mean it's everybody's. And it has to be... It doesn't mean that the dog has to fit to your cookie cutter idea. That a dog needs to be able to play with another dog. She's scratching.
You need to resist the temptation to leave. Unless
she could be doing avoidance behavior.
If your dog is horribly aggressive and wants to kill dogs,
which is very rare.
You can't do this stuff. That's not what we're doing here.
She still doesn't care about this dog.
This is a dog that
you're setting him up to get another correction.
I've proven that with Prince.
She's showing a lot of avoidance behavior. I hate when people force a butt sniff. Very dangerous for this dog. He's now shark bait. If she wanted to correct. Again, tight area. He didn't learn.
Forward and meet dog. So I didn't.
She learned. There's somebody over here.
Right, we're not leaving just because you wanted that dog. Dogs can learn that they
pushing her towards him. Her tail went down. For Shiba, who naturally has a curly tail, for their tail to go down, she's showing those big cheeks. This is a stressed out dog. And she's trapped now. She wants to avoid this dog. So instead of trying to make friends because you think she needs to make friends, you think she has to be a happy dog, you just screwed up right here. Could you fix it? Sure, but he doesn't know how to fix it here. He's not fixing it here.
Takes me away. They don't even hate dogs. They just learn, I don't want to be here anymore, so I'm going to growl, and mommy...
No, you don't know what they're thinking. A lot of dogs can hate dogs. They may not like it. They don't think like a human like you. They don't think like a stupid human. they don't think, you know, oh, I don't want to be here, I'm going to growl at this other dog. They don't think that way, dummy. Come on.
Freak out.
They don't think that way.
And mom's going to take me away.
Well, no, that's not how they think. They don't think like... I'm trying to be calm. This guy gets me going so much. I mean, again, he just puts all this human nonsense garbage on what the dog would think. The dog doesn't think that way. Do you actually think they do?
Yeah, you freaked out, but we're still here. You're not getting out of it. Maybe you
No, they should. It keeps them safer. You're an idiot. You should leave. If they're saying, I'm not comfortable with this dog, you are forcing them. You're flooding them. Now you're making her want to possibly correct him more. So you can correct her. I was fine with what you were doing earlier, but no, this is just back to your nonsense, your dumb, dummy version of training.
Meet him. I don't really care that you're not going to be forced to meet him, but we're not leaving.
No, you were kind of forcing her to meet him.
Do passing. This owner said she's very good on the leash with this dog.
Good.
This owner said she freaks out at 70% of the dogs on a walk.
Excellent.
You're going to see...
She knows how to reward her Shiba this dog far better than anyone who works with Beckman.
5 different dogs.
Very good.
She freaks out at 0 of them. You see every single dog
and see, she's not holding a treat in front of her dog's face. She knows what she's doing better than Beckman does.
I'm showing it to you. Different dog right there, big German Shepherd.
This is what she should have done in the first place. Especially with the big dog. And then you can let them both go off leash. What Beckman did was he failed her as an owner and her, as a client, because he set this dog up and the other dog, to possibly get in trouble and start a fight and reinforce that.
0% of the time during this session she goes at dogs. Why is that? Could because she's out of her neighborhood? Yes. Of course.
Ouch, poor dog.
Could be the case. The owner didn't think so, though.
See, she avoided looking at that dog.
Is it?
Much better. I mean, you're an awesome trainer. And I say she, could be, they, I'm not sure what.
Due to 3 things. It's either due to meeting of a dog. That would be the biggest thing. I made a friend, therefore I...
Good. I'm glad she doesn't just drag her Shiba along. Again, wonderful trainer is just the owner. That, yes, your Shiba can have friends, but don't listen to Beckman. You don't need him to help you with this. Find someone who has a similar, at least now you have confidence. Find a dog that has a similar temperament, meet on neutral ground. If you're worried, put a basket muzzle. She did bring a basket muzzle, we saw earlier.
When she went at Prince, and I kind of, or a Connery, and I stopped it by giving her that knee.
Okay, so that dog was staring at her, and she kind of stared it down. The other dog wasn't helping, but she was able to look away from it.
And I gave her a correction.
And she gets a reward, yeah. And she didn't need a correction.
How about if it was the exercise that she had never really, or...
Very good. This person is awesome.
So when she goes on walks, she just freaks
out.
See,
he's trying to jerk her forward. She doesn't trust him. She doesn't like him.
Her not going at...
Look at the difference between him and her owner. And he's the trainer. He's the so-called trainer that she's paying. She's a far better trainer than he is. If she has a channel, I would watch her channel. I would support it.
And then you're going to see me give her a little correction when she's looking at a dog. So I learned from...
But she didn't need the correction because she was looking at the other dogs earlier just fine, but then she looked away and her owner gave her a reward.
Connery, that stare is not a good thing. So right here, she's going to get a correction for looking too long.
Oh my God, no, dude.
I don't hold a grudge. I even reinforce her right afterwards.
You're lucky, dude. But you suck compared to the owner. You honestly do. Look at all the times that this owner was able to walk by these dogs, even with her looking. She didn't correct the dog. She just gently moves her away. The dog is so focused on her, and she's not holding a treat in front of her face. Even this dog who tries to get to her.
Different dog right there, big German Shepherd. 70% of the time she goes at dogs. 0%
Even
of
this
the time
dog,
during this session she goes at dogs.
Why is it that she works great? She looked at that dog, the dog tried to go for her, she got her attention again. Brilliant. And yet he has to correct her. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right, Joel? This owner is, 1,000 times better than Joel. Than he will ever be. Like, good on you, honestly.
70%.
Beautiful, beautiful work. Perfect timing. That's why the Shiba is as good as she is, and not, like what Beckman did. And I was taught to use Beckman's nonsense, not by Beckman, but the same, jerk and pop and this and that, and that's what made Adonis that much more reactive. Until I stopped listening to dummies like him and listened to people and my Shiba, and that
her past 5 years.
This is all you need. You don't need any of that jerking nonsense.
You see every single dog she passed. I'm showing it to you. Different dog right there, big German Shepherd.
Awesome.
70% of the time she goes at dogs.
She didn't reward there, but the dog is still focused on her.
Why is that? Could because she's out of her neighborhood.
Like the other dog called her. Very good. See, this person is awesome. So, I give her 10 out of 10. I give Beckman 1 out of 10. I would give 0, but 1 out of 10. When the client is a far better trainer than the actual trainer, that's the best. So that was... Alright, sorry. Anyway, that's my review of this. Spot on. I hope you keep up the good work. Not that anybody's ever going to see this or that you'd ever see it, but I think you're doing awesome. Owner with your Shiba, and this is, I don't know how old this video is, but I hope, wish the best of luck to them and anybody who comes here with their dog. I wish the best of luck to them and their dog. Hopefully things work out. Adorable little Shiba, awesome owner, really good timing, working with her dog, and I hope they keep it up, and I hope that they can make some friends. So that's it for today. Hope you all enjoyed this. Thanks for stopping by. If you want to subscribe, you're more than welcome to. Of course, I would appreciate it. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay too. If you like the video, you can hit that like. If you didn't like it, you can also hit the dislike. That's perfectly fine within your rights. Go give your little critters some kind of loving. Howdy do for me. Until next time, stay positive.